The smoke had not yet cleared from the temple steps. Bodies of Jedi Masters lay where they fell. Younglings hid behind shattered pillars. The 501st Legion stood in silent rows, blasters still warm, waiting for orders. Then he came. Darth Vader walked through the great doors, his black cloak dragging across the marble. His yellow eyes burned brighter than the fires around him. Clone Commander Appo stepped forward, ready to begin the cleansing. "Burn it, my lord?" Appo asked. Vader stopped. He looked up at the towering spires of the Jedi Temple, the place where he once trained, prayed, and dreamed. His gloved hand tightened. "No." The word echoed through the silent hall. "This temple will not burn. It will serve a new master." The clones did not move. They had not been given this order. Vader turned slowly, his voice low and sharp. "The Jedi built this fortress on lies. I will rebuild it on truth. The Darkside will rule from these walls." He raised his lightsaber and slashed the great Jedi crest from the floor. Sparks flew. Stone cracked. In its place, he carved a single mark, the symbol of the Sith. Far away, in his palace on Coruscant, Emperor Palpatine felt it. A cold shiver ran down his spine. His apprentice had not obeyed. His apprentice had claimed something for himself. Vader climbed the steps of the council chamber. He sat in the High Master's chair, the seat once meant for him. He smiled beneath his mask. The Jedi Temple was dead. The Sith fortress had risen, and somewhere in the lower halls, a youngling screamed. The lower halls of the temple were quiet. Too quiet. Darth Vader walked alone through the youngling wing. His breathing was slow. His boots echoed on the cold stone. Behind a locked door, he could hear small voices, crying, praying, whispering from Master Yoda. A clone trooper raised his blaster. "My lord," the order was clear. "No survivors." Vader turned his head. His glare froze the soldier in place. The Emperor's order was to end the Jedi. These are not Jedi yet. They are clay, and clay can be shaped. He pushed the door open. Inside, 20 younglings huddled together. Their small faces were wet with tears. One boy stepped forward, holding a training saber with shaking hands. Vader knelt before him. His voice was low, almost gentle. "Put down your weapon, child. The Jedi who taught you fear are gone. I am your master now." The boy dropped the saber. It clattered to the floor. Vader rose. He turned to the clones. "Seal this chamber. No light, no names, no memory of the Jedi. They will learn only what I teach them." The doors slammed shut behind him. The children would not see the sun again for years. In a hidden tower above, Vader began his plan. He pulled out a Sith holocron, one he had stolen from the archives. Its red glow filled the room. These younglings would not die. They would be reborn, angry, loyal, and powerful. A new generation of Sith warriors, raised inside the very walls that once protected them. But far across the galaxy, on a dust-blown world called Tatooine, a hooded figure felt a sudden cold wave through the Force. Obi-Wan Kenobi opened his eyes. The children were still alive. The Imperial Palace stood tall on Coruscant. Inside, Emperor Palpatine sat alone on his throne. The lights were low. His pale fingers gripped the armrest. His eyes, yellow and burning, stared toward the Jedi Temple in the distance. Smoke still rose from its spires, but the fires were out. The temple was not burning. The temple was breathing. Palpatine hissed. He did not obey. He had felt at the moment Vader sat in the High Master's chair. The dark side had bent, not toward him, but toward his apprentice. The temple was not just stone. It was built on a Force Vergence, an ancient well of power older than the Sith, older than the Jedi themselves. And now Vader sat on top of it. Masameda entered the chamber, bowing low. "My Emperor, Lord Vader sends word. He requests that the temple remain standing. He calls it a base of operations." Palpatine's lips curled into a thin, cold smile. A base. Yes, of course. But inside he raged. He knew the truth. Vader had found something in those halls. Perhaps the Sith holocrons hidden by Darth Bane. Perhaps the lost teachings of the old Sith lords. Whatever it was, his apprentice now had power that he, the Emperor, did not control. Palpatine rose slowly. His cloak swept the floor. Send for Director Krennic, and ready the royal guard. My lord, my apprentice has forgotten his place. I will remind him. He turned to the window. The temple glowed red against the night sky, like a second sun burning in the heart of his city. For the first time in decades, Sheev Palpatine felt something he had not felt since the days of Darth Plagueis. Fear. The Jedi archives were silent. Rows of glowing data shelves stretched into the dark. Holobooks floated in the air, untouched since the day the temple fell. The old librarian, Jocasta Nu, lay dead near the center desk, her hand still reaching for a console. Darth Vader stepped over her body without a glance. He had been here before, as Anakin Skywalker, a curious Padawan. He remembered the rules. He remembered the locked doors. He remembered the rooms the Jedi told him never to enter. Now those doors would open. Bring the breach team, he ordered. Stormtroopers marched in with heavy cutting tools. Vader pointed to a smooth stone wall behind the main shelves. To anyone else, it looked like decoration. But Vader felt it, a cold ripple in the Force, hidden beneath the floor for centuries. The troopers cut through the stone. Sparks flew. The wall fell. Behind it was a staircase. Vader descended alone. Deep below the archives, he entered a hidden vault. Red light pulsed from the walls. Dozens of Sith holocrons floated in the air, locked inside Jedi containment fields. The Jedi had not destroyed them. They had hidden them, too afraid to face what they held. Vader smiled beneath his mask. Cowards! He reached out his hand. The field shattered. The holocrons flew to him, spinning in the air like dark stars. Voices whispered from inside. Ancient Sith lords, Bane, Revan, Malgus, and others lost to time. They spoke to him. They taught him. They welcomed him. Hours passed. Vader did not move. When he finally rose, his yellow eyes burned brighter than before. The Jedi had kept these secrets for 10,000 years. Now, they belonged to him, and the galaxy would never be the same. The twin sons of Tatooine burned hot. Obi-Wan Kenobi sat in his small hut, staring at a flickering candle. His robes were dusty. His beard had grown long. He had sworn to watch over young Luke Skywalker, and only Luke. But the Force would not let him rest. Every night, he heard them. The cries of the younglings. The whispers of fear. The cold voice of Vader teaching them lies. I cannot stay, he whispered. He stood, grabbed his lightsaber, and left the hut before sunrise. Days later, a hooded figure stepped off a freighter on Coruscant. The city was darker than he remembered. Stormtroopers patrolled every street. The Jedi Temple loomed above, black, silent, and crowned with the Sith symbol. Obi-Wan pulled his hood lower. He slipped through the lower tunnels, the same secret paths the Jedi used during the Clone Wars. He moved like a shadow. He waved his hand. Two stormtroopers turned away. You did not see me. We did not see him. He reached the youngling chamber deep inside the temple. His heart broke at what he saw. The children were pale. Their eyes were tired. A Darkside instructor, a hooded inquisitor, stood before them, teaching them to hate. Obi-Wan struck without warning. His blue blade flashed once. The inquisitor fell. He turned to the children. I'm Master Kenobi. Do you remember me? A small girl stepped forward. Tears filled her eyes. Master, they said you were dead. Not yet, little one. Not yet. He gathered them quickly, hiding them under cloaks. 20 small footsteps followed his. But high above, in the council chamber, a red light blinked on Vader's throne. The intruder alarm. And Vader rose. The council chamber doors sealed shut. Red light bled through the tall windows of Coruscant. Anakin Skywalker stood beneath the black armor, breathing slow, steady, ready. Across the chamber, Darth Sidious lowered his hood. The yellow eyes glowed like dying suns. So, Sidious whispered, the boy still lives inside the machine. Anakin ignited his blade. The crimson light shook in his hand, then steadied. Anakin Skywalker lives, and he came back for you. Sidious smiled. Lightning cracked from his fingertips. Anakin charged. Their sabers met in a burst of fire. Sparks lit the carved walls where the Jedi Council once sat. Every strike carried 20 years of pain. Padme, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, the younglings, the lie. Anakin pressed forward. No rage, no fear, only purpose. Sidious leapt back, faster than any old man should move. He hurled a chair, a column, a desk. Anakin cut through them all. The Emperor's lightning slammed into Vader's chest plate. Sparks burst. The armor screamed. Anakin staggered, then stepped forward into the storm. "You took everything," Anakin growled. "My wife, my children, my name. I gave you everything." Sidious shrieked. "Power, purpose. You are nothing without me." Their blades locked, inches apart. Master and apprentice, eye to eye, on the ruins of everything they built together. Anakin's voice dropped low. "Then let's end it together." He forced the Emperor's blade aside and drove his shoulder into the old Sith. They crashed through the chamber window, glass exploding outward, twin lightsabers tumbling into the Coruscant sky. Wind roared. Lightning crackled. Two bodies fell toward the city below. And somewhere far away, on a hidden rebel base, Luke Skywalker froze. The Force trembled, and a voice he had never heard whispered through it. "Forgive-moi, son." The Jedi Temple still smoked. Years had passed since Order 66, yet the wound never healed. Beneath the burned western spire, hidden behind a collapsed meditation hall, Obi-Wan Kenobi knelt before 7 trembling younglings. Their robes were patched. Their faces were thin, but their eyes still held the light. "Stay close," Obi-Wan whispered. "Breathe. The Force is with you." He had smuggled them off Tatooine, off Naboo, off forgotten moons where loyal friends had hidden them for years. Coruscant was the last place anyone would search, and that was exactly why he came. But the Force had warned him too late. Far above, an Imperial shuttle descended through the smog. Black wings, black armor, the hiss of a respirator that every surviving Jedi knew by heart. Vader had come. Obi-Wan rose slowly. He pressed a small holodisk into the eldest youngling's hand. A Twi'lek girl, no older than 10. "Take them through the maintenance shaft, down to the lower city. Find a smuggler I told you about. Do not look back. Master Kenobi, go. Now." The children fled into the dark tunnel. Obi-Wan turned and ignited his blade. The doors blew inward. Vader stepped through the smoke, lightsaber already burning. "Hello, old friend." Obi-Wan's voice was calm. "Tired. You don't have to do this, Anakin. That name means nothing." Their blades crashed together. Sparks lit the broken stone. Each strike echoed through the empty temple. The same temple where they once trained as boys, where they once laughed, where they once called each other brothers. Obi-Wan fought like a man who had nothing left to lose. Vader fought like a man who had nothing left at all. Obi-Wan ducked under a heavy swing and slid past Vader's guard. "The boy I trained is still in there. I feel him." "Then you feel a ghost." Vader brought his blade down like a hammer. Obi-Wan blocked, once, twice, but the third strike drove him to one knee. His arms shook. His breath caught. The lightning in Vader's eyes did not blink. Obi-Wan smiled, soft and sad. "Goodbye, old friend." The red blade pierced through. For a single heartbeat, Vader froze. Something deep inside the armor, something buried beneath 20 years of pain, flickered. A name, a face, a friend. Just for a moment. Long enough. By the time Vader turned toward the tunnel, the younglings were gone. Their tiny footsteps had vanished into the lower levels of Coruscant, into the smoke, the steam, the endless underworld where even the Empire could not see. Vader stood alone in the ruins. The respirator hissed. The body of Obi-Wan Kenobi faded into the Force at his feet, leaving only an empty robe. He stared at it for a long time. Stormtroopers rushed in behind him. "Lord Vader," the children, "shall we pursue?" Vader did not answer right away. His gloved hand twitched at his side. The flicker behind the mask, that small, broken thing that used to be Anakin Skywalker, pressed against the dark like a heartbeat under ice. Finally, he spoke. "They are gone. Search the upper levels." The troopers saluted and ran. The wrong way. Vader turned and walked out alone, his cape dragging through the ashes of the order he once swore to protect. Far below, deep in the underbelly of Coruscant, the Twi'lek girl led her 6 companions through dripping tunnels and rusted pipes. She clutched the holodisc to her chest. On it was a single recorded message, a list of names. Allies, safe worlds, hidden temples, a map of hope drawn by a dying master. She did not cry. None of them did. Jedi did not cry. But they ran. They ran past beggars and droids and gangsters who looked the other way. They ran beneath Coruscant's billion lights, where the Empire's eyes could not reach. And as they ran, the youngest boy, barely 6, looked back one last time at the burning sky above and whispered, "He saved us." The Twi'lek girl squeezed his hand. No, they did. And somewhere far above, inside a black mask, a single tear traced down a scarred cheek and was lost forever in the cold steel. The embers had escaped. The Order was not dead. Not yet. Mustafar burned red beneath a black sky. Rivers of lava cracked open the dead world, casting shadows across the tall spires of Fortress Vader. The walls inside were carved from dark stone, polished smooth, lit only by glowing veins of molten fire. No music, no voices, only the hiss of a respirator and the slow, heavy steps of the man who built it. Darth Vader stood before a tall, hollow platform. Around him, captains, governors, and inquisitors knelt in silence. A red beam shot upward from the platform, projecting his image across every Imperial station, every Star Destroyer, every distant moon. The galaxy watched. "Citizens of the Empire," Vader said. His voice was calm, cold, final. "The hunt is over." He raised a single gloved hand. "The last Jedi has fallen. Obi-Wan Kenobi is dead. The temple is ash. Their masters are bones. From this day forward, the Order exists only in stories told to frighten children." A long pause. Let them be frightened. Across the galaxy, screens flickered with the image of the masked figure standing in his black throne room. Imperial officers cheered. Stormtroopers stood at attention. On Coruscant, the Emperor, watching from his private chamber, smiled a slow, yellow-eyed smile. But Vader was not finished. He turned toward the kneeling Inquisitors. "Burn every record of the Jedi, every painting, every name. Strip the temples. Melt the Kyber. I want their memory erased." "Yes, Lord Vader," they whispered. The transmission ended. The throne room fell back into silence. Vader stood alone for a long moment, staring into the lava beyond the great window. Somewhere deep beneath the armor, something still ached, soft, faint, almost gone. A boy's voice he had buried years ago. A whisper that would not stop whispering. "He saved us." Vader's fist clenched. The molten window cracked. Far away, light years from Mustafar, under the steaming pipes of Coruscant's lower city, a different kind of fire was burning. A small chamber, hidden behind a broken cargo lift, held 7 small figures sitting in a circle. Their robes were no longer torn rags. They had been stitched, patched, cared for. In the center of the circle floated a single green crystal, a Kyber stone, smuggled out of the temple ruins by a brave smuggler who would never live to see his payment. The Twi'lek girl, now 12, sat at the head of the circle. Her name was Leora. She closed her eyes, lifted her hands, and the green crystal rose into the air. The other children gasped. "Slow your breath," she said softly, repeating the words Master Kenobi had once spoken to her. "Feel the Force. Do not chase it. Let it come." 2 more crystals rose. Then 3. Then 5. In a sealed room deep beneath the Empire's capital, 7 small Jedi were learning without a master, without a teacher, without a single grown voice to guide them. They learned anyway. Outside their hidden door, an old Clone Wars veteran, a former Republic soldier who had never accepted Order 66, stood guard with a blaster rifle, his graying head bowed. He had sworn to protect them until the last breath in his lungs. He did not know they would outlive him by decades. He only knew they had to live. Back on Mustafar, Vader walked alone through his long black halls. The doors sealed behind him. His private chamber opened, empty, dark, cold. He removed his helmet for the briefest moment, just long enough to see his own scarred reflection in the polished stone. The face that stared back was not Sith, not Jedi, just tired. He whispered something only the lava could hear. "It is finished." But the force was already moving, already gathering, already choosing. Somewhere in the lower city, Leora opened her eyes, and for one heartbeat, she felt him. The mask, the pain, the man inside. She did not flinch. She did not fear. She only frowned and whispered to herself a promise she did not yet understand. One day, we will come for him. The Kyber crystals glowed brighter. And far above, in his black fortress on a burning world, Darth Vader put his helmet back on, never knowing that the children he failed to break were already learning the lessons that would, one day, burn his temple to the ground. The lie had been told. The truth was still growing.